Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Will you join me? Kumbaya, my lord.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a girl walks in with a itty bitty face and a round thing in your face, you get stonk. I don't know what that word is.
Stunk. You get stonked.
Can't I just look at this book of
How
chateaus?
dare you interrupt my spiritual with I like big butts? Will you please sing Kumbaya with me?
It's my favorite song.
It's
Okay, I'll sing.
It's
You
your
start.
autobiography.
You start.
Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
Thong, to thong, thong, thong.
Sing that. Do you know what Kumbaya means? Come by here, Lord. And every time.
Do you know what thong means?
No.
It's a strap that goes up your ass and it makes you not have a panty line. And I think Jesus would have liked that.
Someone's crying, Lord. Kumbaya. Someone's crying, Lord. Kumbaya.
What do you think of when you sing? 'Cause it seems like you get really, really into it.
Right now, I'm trying to summon God to the Lavender Hour,
Oh.
and you're soiling. You're basically like somebody, a crazy person walking into a temple and just in a diaper.
That's what comedians do. They like ruin the party. Or no, they diffuse it. They diffuse the situation. So like you're getting too serious, so it's time for me to make that stop.
Yeah, I'm really seriously singing Kumbaya.
Well, then why are you mad that I sing the thong song, which, by the way, is a great song?
I was fake mad as a comedic device. I'm not really mad.
I remember once I was in New York and this girl was at this yogurt shop with her child and the thong song was on and she was like, it was a baby and she was like throwing it up in the air going, thong, the thong, thong, thong. Like,
throwing the baby in the air?
Well, like cooing with the baby, but like to the thong song.
Yeah, that's a whole...
That's when everything started to fall apart.
But that's a whole popular thing. That's a very popular move. It's the old, let's put a dirty T-shirt on the baby. Haven't you seen those babies with T-shirts that are like, I'm getting fucked? Or my mom...
No, I haven't seen those.
They
don't say I'm getting fucked.
Well, they say like, my mom got fucked so hard and that's where I came from.
Duncan, no, they don't.
Yes, they do. I've seen it.
I haven't.
I come from a motherfucker.
I've seen like I like got milk.
I'm a jizz. I'm a.
Where do you see these?
I'm evolved jizz. You've never seen that?
No.
I'm what happens when jizz meets an egg, and on the back it says "fuck you." You've never seen that shirt? I've seen them. I've seen tons of babies wearing those.
My friend Tig Notaro has a funny joke because like those people put those things on the door that say the baby's sleeping, but she wants to make some that say no fucking the baby. She tells it better.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, I've seen people make fun of that, but I've never seen a toddler with a shirt on that says "fuck you." And
oh yeah,
I come from evolved jizz.
No, it's like I'm I'm like my daddy splooge.
Duncan, you're making this up.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I've seen these shirts.
Daddy splooge.
Yeah.
Who would put their kid in that?
That's because it's like ironic.
I wouldn't put my kid in that.
The kid can't read. Like, haven't you seen the shirt? It says, I'm a useless idiot, but it doesn't matter because I can't read.
All I know is if I get introduced to one more mute child, I don't know what I'm going to do.
How many mute kids have you been
this week I've met 3.
What do you, literally mute? Or
like they're 3 and you're like, hi. And they're like, like they're clearly at talking age, but they won't talk to me.
They don't want to talk.
To me.
Who else? What are they gonna say? They can't talk. They can barely talk.
I don't know. Hi, how are you?
They don't say that.
You
Kids
look
don't say
nice.
that. I got me baby.
Do you want some mango?
It's a 2-year-old.
They can talk though. Why don't they say something?
You got to squeeze it out of them. If you want a baby to talk, you have to squeeze it really hard. It's like a squeak toy. Babies are squeak toys. Have you seen that video of the baby at the zoo sitting in front of the lion, and the lion obviously just wants to eat it? Like the lion's like slapping at the cage and kind of like running back and forth because it just so desperately wants to get that delicious baby into its stomach.
The lion wants to eat the baby?
Yeah. It's like you realize it's the perfect meal for a lion. Like if you think about what a lion generally, not a zoo lion because they just get thrown steaks, but if you think about what a lion has to go through to eat, it sucks. You've got to like bite through tough skin and rip and like chase a thing down. But what is better for an African lion than eating a plump white baby? That's like winning the lottery for a lion.
But that's not what they eat. Don't they want to eat like zebras or something?
Oh no, they want to eat babies. The zebras and the elks and the antelopes and all the other stuff. That's just like when people are on Nicorette. They want to eat babies.
That is not true.
Yes, it is. They want to eat. That's all. A lion's original diet was human babies. That's all they want. Because babies used to roam the plains of Africa. That's where we came from. People don't understand that. Everybody thinks that like humans started off full grown, but basically humans started off as babies, toddlers. Toddlers used to roam the Saharas, just fields of babies and just lions tearing through them like lawnmowers, through grass, just gulping them down, eating till their stomachs were just fat with white babies. Never black babies though. Just white, plump, fat, white.
In Africa, just the white babies.
Just white babies. That's why where black people came from, because babies. Does this sound racist?
It sounds insane. Finish the thought.
I don't know where it's going. It's this stupid. It's just stupid.
It's getting a little too deep for me.
Is it that deep?
No.
Don't go there. That's too deep. Well, it's true. I mean, I have problems with the theory of evolution. Like
You do?
Well, in the sense that it's like, think of the skunk. I looked up the skunk, also known as the skink, also known as this. It's also known as the stinking gentleman. Did you know that's what they used to call it?
Well, that is cute.
In France, they used to call it the stinking gentleman.
That's what Pepe Le Pew came from.
So skunks have fast.
Yeah, why was the skunk French?
Well, I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I think it was I don't know. But
they're cute.
Think about evolution.
They're disgusting though.
They have glands in their anus that contains within it like really strong chemicals like mace, and animals are somehow scared of skunks. They're instinctually, they stay the fuck away from that white stripe on black, and all skunks have the white stripe on black except for like maybe one type. But evolution, there's different versions of evolution.
Like if they want a surprise attack, why do they keep having that dumb stripe on there?
No, they don't want a surprise attack.
What's the point of a skunk? That's what they do around here.
What do you think, they want to ambush?
Why else are they doing that?
What do they want, a surprise attack? They don't like spraying.
Why do they do it?
They do it to get something the fuck away from them. It's like why does someone pull mace out of their purse and spray a mugger? They spray it in the face of predators.
So they just have mace up their butt.
They have anal
for no
mace.
reason.
And they spray it on predators. But you have to like,
because they don't have fangs.
No, they have sharp digging claws. They don't have fangs. I'm an expert on skunks. I really got absorbed into skunks. They
Could they hurt Cutie?
Yeah. They could totally hurt her because they could spray anal mace all over her, and she's tiny, and so it would just suck. The dog would smell awful for days. Like, she hates baths. You would have to give her 100 baths.
But would they dig their claws into her?
No, they don't want to fight. Skunks, their motto is spray and
That's
run
why they're
away.
like gentlemen.
They want to go. They want to run.
Gentlemen don't want to fight either.
That's not true.
Gentlemen, they don't.
What do they do when they're threatened?
Well, I suppose they pull out their rapier, so maybe they do.
Yeah, they're rapers.
What does that mean?
No, it just you're whoever your fantasy version of gentleman is weird. So do you think right now somewhere walking through downtown LA there's a guy with a rapier who doesn't fight?
100 years ago.
I just carry my sword around.
Why not? I mean, it's the noble thing to do. Draw if you be men.
Boy, you must be looking forward to the Renaissance Fair tomorrow.
No, I don't want to live it like as a theme park. I think it would be a nice time to live in general before the internet. That time. Not go.
Happens every year at the Pasadena Fairgrounds. You should go check it out.
No, that's not the same thing. That's just like nerds.
Oh, yeah, you're nothing like that.
What do you mean? I'm a nerd for ladies and gentlemen, I guess so.
Yeah, that's called a Renaissance Fair.
I'm not into Renaissance fairs. I've never been to one. I would never go to one.
You don't need to go to one. There's one happening in your brain every day. Yeah, all your thoughts just hang out in a Renaissance Fair. There's like weird gentlemen with rapiers walking around. There's weird pacifist gentlemen. Get to the modern times, please. You want to go back to the times of gentlemen. Like there were gentlemen. Like the same guys who are like, tighten that fucking corset, you wench. Who put their wives in like corsets that broke their ribs.
You wouldn't have called your wife a wench.
No, you wouldn't. You call her something else atrocious. You probably wouldn't call her anything because you didn't talk to her. Her main job was making babies and scrubbing the floor.
Ladies didn't scrub the floor.
Yeah, they had great lives. Would someone please send Natasha a picture of an emaciated 5'3" malnourished being from the 18th century who smells like diarrhea because she doesn't know that you're supposed to wipe your ass when you shit? That's what people were like back then. They didn't take showers. Case closed. I don't care how much of a gentleman you are. If you don't, you know what? Can I tell you a motto from back then? A gentleman doesn't need to wash his hands.
Gentlemen don't wipe.
Gentlemen don't need to wash their hands. Gentlemen don't wipe. Gentlemen are just these stinky.
Where did they poop and pee?
They pooped in like outhouses and if they did have like rudimentary sewer systems, it was just they would shit in a bucket. Here's what you do: you shit in a bucket, throw it out the window. It scatters in front of your whatever.
You did not shit in a bucket.
Sure you did. Oh, they had a chamber pot. You shit in a chamber pot.
How did you? Then what happened?
You died because your lifespan was 32 years. You just shit in a chamber pot and died. That was your whole life. No, you get a flea on you, then you get the plague, and then you die. Maybe somewhere in there you'd get drafted for some crappy war, or you get a scratch and have to get your arm amputated. Also, your teeth were falling out. No, they weren't. They didn't have the same amount of sugar back then. Yes, they were. Your teeth were falling out. You didn't brush your teeth. You didn't take showers. You didn't know anything. So
back to evolution. We are evolving because of better health?
Yeah, we're evolving, but like to get
to
my original point, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe someone can help explain this to me. I don't understand how through natural selection and a course of weird mutations, some kind of striped creature learned to start spraying a very powerful chemical mace from his anus. How did that happen over time? How did something evolve that specifically into spraying?
So evolution says not just monkeys, but like every
Everything.
single organism has evolved. But that would lend itself to the idea that every single organism is currently evolving and animals are just staying the same. Or does it evolve so slowly that we wouldn't even be able to see it until another 100,000 years.
I have heard, and I haven't seen this, but I have heard that there's video of these lions that got that got stuck on an island and were separated from their ecosystem, and so they evolved really quickly. Evolution may happen faster than we think it happens. It definitely is a slow process, but there's also this idea that if something gets separated from the ecosystem, and I don't know, I don't understand evolution enough maybe to really be talking about it, but I do know there's a video of these lions that evolved differently from other lions just because their habitat was so different. I mean, but still, it's like I just want to know the idea is, so you have a forest and the trees are black, and so you have white moths and black moths. There's going to be more black moths than white moths, or black moths are going to be more successful than white moths because they blend into the trunk of the tree. And so predators can't see them as well. They have natural camouflage, so the white moths are going to die. They're not going to have as much of an evolutionary advantage, and so the black moths will become stronger. That's the idea.
Should have got it. That guy's funny.
Who is it?
Book agent. Not mine.
Oh, you should have answered. We should have put him on. He probably wouldn't want to be on a podcast.
Yeah.
So anyway, so somehow over the course of time, these genetic mutations happen and things gain evolutionary advantages, and they reproduce more, and so then they dominate. That's the idea. So I just don't understand over the course of time how something learns to, like an electric eel. How did an electric eel over the course of time mutate into something that can shock people? How does that happen? By accident. It's hard for me to understand that. Someone help me understand that.
Why don't we get a scientist on here?
I'd love to.
I wish we had friends who were scientists.
God, me too. God, that'd be so cool to have like a real hardcore scientist friend.
I mean, I was so bad in science. I don't think I ever took a science class.
I
just remember those petri dishes and like having partners.
I remember having to dissect.
And the science teachers were so oh. Really?
Yeah. An embryonic.
Why? Like, why would you make kids do that? What does that help? Dissect a pig?
To see the organs.
Just show them a fucking picture.
Yeah, I agree. Why the fuck do you need to do that? Because humans are assholes.
Gross.
Yeah. We're just like we're dumb.
You're from the South though. In the Midwest, we weren't dissecting pigs.
Well, you had to have dissected something. Frogs.
I didn't.
Pigs, frogs.
Remember that smell of that formaldehyde?
Yes. I do. It was awful. And I remember the pig's organs, and I remember using the pig's head for an English video because we had to do like a book report on Lord of the Flies. So we stuck the pig's head on a stick. Spoiler alert, it's in Lord of the Flies. We tried to act. Remember the scene with the pig?
Oh, that was a good movie.
Great fucking movie. Oh, I'm reading Game of Thrones right now. It's so good. The book is so excellent. I'm so happy that I'm reading it. I'm so addicted to it now. And it's like 6 books. There's 6 in the series. It's great. What are you reading now?
You don't want to hear.
No idea. What are you reading?
It's private.
What do you mean it's private? What are you reading?
Well, right now I'm reading Vogue Living, Houses, Gardens, and People. But I'm not really reading
there's
it.
No words. You're not reading it because there's no words.
I'm reading an old book on my Kindle.
What book?
It's called, well, the name of it's really dumb, but I love the guy who wrote it.
What's it called?
It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Why are you so embarrassed about that? That's like a great book.
Because it makes you sound like an idiot.
It's a self-help book.
But it's really great. It's all about like...
navigating the human hive.
Well, no, but it's not manipulative. It's more about just like... how you should really be. How you should be positive.
How to secrete pheromones to make you a more useful worker bee.
No, it's really good. It's about how I mean he researched biographies on every person.
How they did it.
And like the 7 things I'm only on the first one.
You,
But the 7 things are the things that they all had in common. And the first one is
white.
No. The first
It's
one
an
is
unfortunate truth because it's the country. I mean, is like it was plagued by racism when that guy wrote that. Think of how the country was just like when that book came out. That was just there was probably still slavery.
Well, there were no women, but there's women now, so it's kind of irrelevant that.
Well, no, and still, yes, he still like he definitely figured out. He definitely figured out certain modes of behavior that.
I just like when he says, none of those people criticize. They got rid of that need to criticize.
What is that need?
To criticize?
To complain.
Well, I think it's a lot of things. One of the things is you think if you complain, then you're not setting yourself up for failure because you're like, I already failed. Oh, this will probably be the best thing. Oh, that's so great you did that. Yeah, well, it's probably the only time it'll ever happen. Like, there's that thing.
But you complain. You complain sometimes. It's like I complain too. Don't get me wrong. But it's like your brain picks out. So
my brain?
I think sometimes like you get habituated into thinking that what to talk about is the bad things, not the good things.
That's true.
Because
usually they're funny and they're interesting.
What in your environment's causing you pain? So you want to talk about that, or what in your
bad things are like knots to bad things are like knots to untangle. Good things are just kind of like already good. So why talk about them?
Well, no, it's like if you look at people report about whatever their subjective reality tunnel is. So the way they report on it is like quite often, more often than not, it's like I have a headache, my car broke down, my foot hurts.
Because you don't want to brag.
Well, no, I think it's cooler to brag. I love hearing from people where like really cool things are happening to them. It's kind of an opportunity when you hear someone talking about good things and they're really excited about it. I mean, when someone's bragging, it's annoying because they don't even care that you're there.
Right, that's true.
But when someone's talking about something awesome that happened to them, it can be cool. It's also cool when someone talks about some monstrous nightmare that's happening to them. It's just funny. It's like either one's a way to describe reality. You get to pick.
But as a comedian, how funny is it to go up there and talk about all the things that are good?
Yeah, but that's 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes out of the day.
Yeah, but that's your whole life you spend culling that material and thinking those thoughts.
So what? You're saying that if you want to be a comedian, you have to complain all day long?
No, but I'm saying if you want to be a comedian, for me, the kind of comedy that I'm attracted to is usually talking about the things that annoy me and why. Sorry, that's just the truth.
I don't think.
Or the things I find funny, not the things I find great because.
No, I'm talking about like whiners. Not like talking about like I really despise.
I'm not a whiner.
I hate the geopolitical order of things. Or I can't believe that. I'm talking about like when.
I'm not a whiner.
I'm saying if I'm just.
Would you please say that I'm not a whiner? Because I'm not.
What if I don't?
I'm not. I don't whine.
I didn't necessarily say you were a whiner. I'm just saying like people can often identify like the thing that people want to talk about most is what the fuck is going wrong. That's not necessarily whining, but it's just like
what if the news was like everything went great today in Cincinnati, Ohio?
Wouldn't sell a goddamn ad. Wouldn't sell one. No one would watch it. No one would watch the news.
So isn't live performance like that? When you're talking about comedy.
What, you want to turn negativity into money? What are you, a vampire? Are you Sauron?
No, you want to make people laugh.
Sauron.
You want to make people laugh about things that they might be going through too.
You want to turn negativity into laughter.
Sure.
Share the love with your fans.
I don't think
it's
negativity
motivation?
that you're turning into laughter.
Well, it's
very easy to be negative.
It's the most easy thing. That's because Satan's the Lord of the earth and he loves us to be negative. Well, also because it's a denser energy. Because it's easy. I'll tell you this. If you spend a day, I've tried this, do a negativity fast. Spend 24 hours where you agree with yourself that you're not going to say one negative.
I do that every morning and then it's gone by like my first coffee.
Well, if you try it, it makes you quiet. That's what's awesome about it. It silences you. And silence is usually a sign that someone's like a wise person.
Really? Silence? You think silence is a sign that you're wise?
Yeah. Totally.
I definitely talk too much.
When you're around people and you realize that they're just listening to you, they don't want to say anything, they're just listening. And if they do it long enough, you realize they're quiet people. And then the stuff that comes out of their mouth is good. Not in a cheesy way, but they say things that are like, I've seen people like that. It's fascinating. People like that are.
Or like if they have something negative to say, they say something positive first. That's what I've noticed, like the most successful people I know. Because I always try to it's easy for me to connect with people in kind of a negative way. Or like with a common thing that's annoying and bringing it up. Something that I don't think, you want someone to like agree with you that something's annoying or when you're working. But then if someone agrees with you, but they always say something positive first.
Yeah, or even it's really tough. That's the other thing. When you talk to someone when you're doing that to someone and you start bringing up like the negative aspects of the world, you're inviting them to get into that relationship with you. You're sort of drawing them into your bubble and forcing them to either be like, feel weird and be like, no, I think it's great. Or to be like, yeah, that guy's an asshole. You're totally right. And then add to the fire of negativity. And that's how the cycle perpetuates itself. Because then that person will walk away from the conversation and be in a negative state. What was this? I read this thing that it's like you're either in a positive state or you're in a negative state. You're not, it's one or the other. You can't bullshit it.
I just watched this amazing Bill Hicks documentary called American. You saw it too, right?
Yeah, it's great.
But he was pretty negative and he gave himself fucking colon cancer.
Pancreatic cancer.
Pancreatic cancer. Do you think that comes from the negative thoughts?
Yeah. I think you get cancer and heart disease from negativity. And from...
Because he was like 32.
Yeah.
And he was clean, so he wasn't from drinking.
Well, the theory behind it is that...
Brilliant. I really love him.
When you consider negativity, or you consider the feeling of negativity, you consider the mood state that your shitty words come from, and you look at that mood state, the chances are really good that you don't feel happy. You feel bad. You have a negative tone. You don't feel good. So what is that? What's that feeling? Where's that feeling coming from? Where do any feelings come from?
Your brain, probably.
Right. So it comes from a combination of different chemicals. A lot of the times it's this, I can't remember the name of it, but there's a stress chemical, and it's adrenaline, and it's maybe some hormone imbalances, or it's like, what I'm saying is feelings have a biochemical root, and the root negative feelings, that's a form of toxicity. So it's just the same as when you have a stomach ache because you're eating shitty food, or you cough because you've been smoking. If you have a lot of toxic thoughts, chances are that they're emerging from like a toxic state. And if you're in that toxic physical state long enough, you get cancer. Your DNA starts fucking up, or you get high blood pressure. That's why, who ever heard of and please, if someone knows about this guy, please let me know. But whoever heard of I know there's athletes that get heart attacks. I'm saying, whoever heard of a really happy, sweet, calm, gentle person dying of a heart attack? Like someone who was just meditated every day and was really literally constantly relaxed. You don't have a heart attack in that state. But if you're negative, think of the physical attributes that go along with negativity. Gritting your teeth, clenching your fists, your shoulders get tight. When you're driving, you clench the steering wheel. You drive too fast. You do that thing where you get right up against someone's bumper. You'll yell at people in traffic. You'll explode in weird moments. This is all the things that emerge from this negative mood state, and all those things are dangerous. All those things lead to you getting hurt in some way or another. So it's almost an advantage to conquer yourself so you feel good. And then when you feel good, talk shit and see what that's like. That's a challenge. Can I give that challenge to the Lavender Popes? Promise yourself.
I don't whine.
Promise yourself that you're not going to talk shit again until you feel good. You're only allowed to talk shit or complain when you feel really good. That's the rule. If you feel great, you can complain as much as you want. If you don't feel good, you can't complain. Try that for a week. I'm trying that starting now.
Can you complain about, like, Michelle Bachmann? Something really dumb you hear her say. Like, where do you draw the line? Hello? Is that a dumb question?
No, I can't talk again until I feel good. I mean, I have nothing to talk about.
I heard Gloria Steinem say today, the old 70s, well, she's in her 70s, but she was a feminist. And she's the one who broke in. She was a writer in the 70s, and she was largely responsible for a big part of the women's movement. But she wrote this article for, I don't remember what it was for, maybe Vogue or Vanity Fair, but she became a Playboy bunny and, like, talked about how terrible it was. And, like, she released this whole piece, and it shut down all of those clubs.
Wow.
And now she's coming back out because they have that new Playboy show coming out.
Good for her.
And she's, like, pissed about it, and she's saying this is glorifying it. And you look at what the girls are saying, and they're like, it's so fun wearing the costumes. Like, that's what that's like the interviews.
Right.
It's just about they're glamorizing it, and she just keeps saying that. But I read this interview of her today, and it was so great because she said that the problem with Michelle Bachmann and Sarah Palin, she's like, you always have to be weary of people that the power structure puts in front of you that looks like you but thinks like them.
Ooh, that's great. No shit. They are, what is that? Wolves in sheep's clothing. They're like barbecue moms who want to control nuclear arsenals. That's spooky.
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
That is some spooky shit. You're totally right.
And she was like fucking hot. That's how she got a job at the Playboy
Michelle
Club.
Bachmann?
No, Gloria Steinem.
Oh, yeah.
God, we should get her on the Lavender Hour.
Shit, yeah. Can you get her? How do you get her? Is she on somebody get a Steinem. Get a Steinem.
I bet I could.
Really?
I bet there's like 3 people you could call. At least get her like Twitter.
Somebody get us Gloria Steinem. Someone out there, please. I'd love to talk to her. She sounds like a genius. I love that idea. Yeah, that's what politicians are. They figure out how to put the exterior clothing on of a normal person, but underneath it all is just this, like, maniacal, driven loon caught in an evil system. They're all just they're either butterflies in a spider's web or they're spiders. They're one or the other. That's what all politicians are, and there's a hell of a lot more spiders than there are butterflies. Seems like it anyway.
I think sometimes people can really, like, I feel like someone like Bill Clinton really did probably have the passion.
Yeah, I'm sure, but it's all the same. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I liked Clinton. Remember the Clinton years? Jesus Christ, that was like we were in Narnia. Do you remember that? The economy was booming. It was amazing. No one even talked about a recession or anything. The economy was booming. It was still kind of cool to do blow. There was ecstasy everywhere. And like I
like that the only thing you said that wasn't drug related was that the economy was booming. Then you just went right into what the drug situation
One follows the other. Cocaine follows a great economy. The economy's doing great. Wall Street just came out. Was that when Clinton was president? It was great. You know, Obama ordered more drone attacks in his first year as the president than Bush did in his entire time in the White House.
I mean, I think that quote could go to Obama too.
Absolutely. Oh, for sure.
Looks like you, but thinks like us.
Looks like you, but thinks like the lizard overlords that come from Xenu reticuli.
People hate him. I was reading Bill Maher's tweets. He was just like...
What was he saying?
I mean, just that he's a fool, an idiot, and that, you know... I don't remember exactly.
Well, none of us...
It was a joke, and I don't want to misquote the joke.
None of us understand quite what he's doing. No one except my brother. You know what? I'm going to record a phone conversation with my brother if he'll let me.
Does he stick up for Obama?
Loves him. And Andy Kindler loves Obama.
Gotta get Kindler over.
We got to get Kindler over. And really, I want to have a real conversation, because I think that if anyone's going to give an intelligent reason of why they like Obama, it's going to be him. Because he really is very political. And I think he's really
Andy?
Yeah. And he's a huge Obama fan.
Well, let's have him over on the next one.
I think we should.
I think we need to, because I don't watch the news, and so I just read The Week every week,
I have an open mind about it. I would love for my mind to be changed. I would love for Andy Kindler to come over, or anyone, and set us straight and be like, no, look.
I mean, it is the lesser of two evils because it does look out for certain aspects of our society that need looking out for that the conservative side doesn't look out for.
Right.
So I think in general, it's always a better choice.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's the most terrible way to make a choice. Better of two evils.
Well, that's
you know what better of two evils means? You have two evils. How about we pick one good? That would be nice. A good over the evil instead of like two evils. Look, Obama did a lot of stuff for what did he do? What did he do?
I think he wrote Lady Gaga's last song.
Yeah, he did a lot of good stuff for Lady Gaga. That would be amazing if he wrote a Lady Gaga song. Kind of like the way she wrote Paparazzi. He wrote this kind of angry, frustrated president. What if he started singing? What if Obama started rapping? That would be amazing. Or
he wouldn't rap. He'd be like a crooner.
Yeah, he started crooning about being the president, and it was either just about like late night sex in the White House or how frustrated he is. I think he would just be. I think he'd be more like who did Walk Like an Egyptian?
The Bangles.
I think he'd be more like the Bangles. Kind of
that
like
makes no sense.
He'd be like the '80s. He'd be like not Peter Gabriel.
Oh, remember when Bill Clinton came out on Arsenio Hall and played the saxophone? Can we put that on Go Deeper, please?
I think Obama would be like, what was that guy who did that steam?
That's cool.
What was the guy who did the Steamroller song?
Steamroller.
It's like, remember, I think his name was Peter. He did like
Peter Gabriel?
I don't know if it was Peter Gabriel. No, it wasn't Peter Gabriel.
Steamroller, how's it go?
I can't even sing it. But he did like some stop motion
Are you talking about Sledgehammer?
Sledgehammer, yeah. Who's saying that?
Steamroller. Peter Gabriel.
Oh, well, I think Obama would be like Peter Gabriel if he started singing. And I think he'd do these really like kind of like breakup songs with America.
Steamhammer.
What if he
What'd you say? Steamroller.
I think Obama would do like these kind of, it would be like breakup songs. Like, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. Songs to America. Where he's kind of resentful.
Well, why don't you write him one?
Every little thing in a box to the left. What's that song? To the left, to the left. I can get another country in a minute. Just wait right here, I'll get a country. You must not know about me. What if he did a remake of You Must Not Know About Me to America? He like stalks off to another country and becomes their president to try to make us jealous.
No, he becomes their Beyonce.
I like the idea of him going to like becoming the president of Algeria to try to make us jealous and get him to come back.
I mean, I think that more than any other president, he is suffering the most from the negativity online in terms of polls and constant information, and the Fox News has gotten worse. So the opposition has gotten much worse in these past 5 years. Just the constant internet news situation. Everyone's commenting. Nobody knows what most people don't know what they're talking about, and everybody's got something to say.
Right.
So it's very easy to just hate him. And it's just constant.
Yes.
More than it was 5 years ago,
right.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally. People hate him now.
I mean, imagine if there was Twitter when, like, Bill Clinton shoved a cigar up that chick's vagina.
Would you ever let me put a cigar in your vagina? That's got to be bad for you.
Was it lit?
I would never do that. Yeah, it was lit. I bet it was. I bet it was lit, and he just used her pussy as an ashtray. I bet she just lay on his desk, and her pussy was just always so wet because she was a page and he was the president.
You know
and
what,
he would just dish that cigar.
See, he shoved that cigar up her pussy, but now, for the rest of her life, she gets to, like, run in sophisticated circles.
Yeah, but every time
he just touched her with that cigar, and now I bet she's got dinner parties. I bet Katie Couric. I bet fucking Queen Noor comes over to her house.
I bet she's got dried tobacco in her underwear. Still. I bet it still comes out sometimes. Like, oh, God damn it. because he was doing it so long and so many times. I bet her pussy smells like a pipe shop.
I bet she gets guys to fuck her.
No.
Of course.
She doesn't.
Of course.
Are you kidding?
Bill Clinton wanted to fuck her.
So that's not going to get anyone else to... Bill Clinton wanted to fuck everything. Bill Clinton was like he was like having an erection in the White House. He was like a badass president. He was humping his way through politics.
I waited on Monica Lewinsky once at the whiskey bar.
What was she like?
She had like 3 Secret Service men with her, and they all had headsets on. And then like there were other ones waiting at the front of the, waiting for her at the front of the bar.
Damn.
Like at the entrance.
And we paid for that with our tax dollars.
Why did Secret Service have? So the government's paying, or maybe it was just her own bodyguards.
No, I think that after the president cigar fucks you, then you get Secret Service for the rest of your life. It's one of the benefits. Just one cigar in your snatch, and you.
What
are
would
protected.
happen if like she had kids, which she may? So she has kids.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna have to tell her kids this, because if she doesn't, the kids will tell the other kids at school will be like,
"Mommy, cigar out of cigar pussy,"
or something. So like you've got to say that to your kid.
Yeah, what's that sound like? What's that? How would you do it? How would you tell your kids that mommy put a cigar in the president put a cigar in mommy's pussy? Let's improvise. I'll be the kid. What did you want to tell me, Mom?
Well, there's going to be some kids at school, and your mommy's famous.
Yeah.
Because she used to date the president.
You did?
Well,
I love you. My mommy's so great.
But not the president now, the president 2 presidents ago.
Oh. Bush?
In my bush, it was a cigar.
What's your bush?
My pussy. See, I already fucked up. I can't have a kid.
No, this is what you do. This is what, you know what I'd tell my kid?
What?
I would sit my kid down and I would say, Johnny, I wouldn't name my kid. I'd probably name my kid. Lannister from Game of Thrones.
Alistair, that's what you
I would name
your
him
kid.
Alistair Lannister. Alistair,
Alistair Lannister.
your mommy, many, many years ago, worked at a building called the White House, and that's where the president lives. Your mommy has in her pants a hole, and the president, I don't know how you do it. Did you say your mommy had a cigar in her pussy? Yeah, you have some more pasta. Shut up. Your mommy got a cigar.
Then your kid would be a stripper in like 5 years.
Not a 5-year-old stripper.
Well, I mean, no, you wouldn't tell the kid till they were like 10.
I think I would just get someone to animate it for me, like a cartoon, to make it seem funny. So
Well, porn stars must have kids,
they
right?
do.
What do they tell their kids? Because
Mom-
the internet's so rampant.
Well, if you're a porn, I mean, you have to like tell you have to get your kid out of the taboo. If you're gonna, you either like, I think you have to you with a kid, the kid doesn't have to be all sexually hung up. You can, like, if you're healthy, you can make the kid not feel like sex is some kind of bad thing while not transforming the kid into a deviant.
My mother was very prudish about sex. I remember
Really?
we went and saw Terms of Endearment, which was not like a sexy movie. And I remember they got into bed together, and my mom left the movie theater.
Are you kidding me?
No, she left. We were sitting in the 4th row. She got up and left. And then I looked back like an hour later, and she was sitting in the back of the theater.
Are you sure she left?
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, she left sitting next to me.
Oh, she just couldn't sit next to you.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe there was some hot guy in the back, and she had anonymous, like, she made out with some guy in the back. Were you at a porn theater?
Yeah, Terms of Endearment with Deborah Winger and Shirley MacLaine. It's playing at the porno theater.
You are something else. You are.
I'm just saying, I think it would be...
You got,
I wouldn't know how to raise my kid without hang-ups because I have never not had hang-ups. I mean, I don't have hang-ups now, so maybe I
No, you don't have any hang-ups. how did you get rid of all your hangups? It's so incredible. You're like the one person I've ever met who's totally gotten rid of every hangup. Hangups are the worst. It's this reality tunnel idea. It's like you're stuck in this reality tunnel. You believe these certain things are right. You believe these certain things are wrong. Your ego won't let you let go of your rules. You're just playing a game and you can't stop playing. You got to do these rules. It's the only way you know how to live. Not you, everyone. We're all playing a game. You do this and you do that and don't do this and don't do that. And if you do that to me, then I'll do this to you and I'll get you back. Everyone's living some series of some version of that game. You know, these are my friends and these guys are bad. Good, bad, good. But some people you think are good, other people think are bad. And some people you think are bad, other people think are good. So it's all this subjective opinion. So why cling to your silly game? The idea is to redefine the game if you can. It's very hard. The older you get, the more difficult it becomes. When you're a young whippersnapper, it's simple. Once you get old and calcified, entrenched in the rut of your life, and this is how I live. This is me. We don't do that in this family. In our family, we don't do that. Family rules. This is how we live. We don't live like that. We live like this.
That was a great part about the Bill Hicks documentary, is that like his family was very kind of like were they Southern Baptist?
Yeah.
And like very judgmental and like really were not on board with any of his stuff. And then you talk to his parents now and they're like really open-minded. And
yeah.
And they I think his comedy really changed them.
Totally. Well, that's the thing.
And they're like totally like sticking up for him and like really saying these great enlightening things. And like even Bill Hicks, his friend says that he said to his parents like, wow, you're more broad-minded than I thought you were. And it was really cool that you can open people's minds.
Yeah, totally.
Your family.
You can change your family's lives. I've heard that's your job as a kid. That's your job. Well, your job is when you come into the world is to like get the evolutionary advantage, become one step more advanced than your parents. Don't. In other words, what you do. So you got this like beam of built-in behavior patterns that are, some of them are genetic, but most of them were passed from your parents' and or your grandparents and your great-grandparents, and it's this like line of behavior patterns that got like shot down through time. I mean, who knows where they started, but it's like your job as a human is not just to accept the behavior patterns that were given to you by your parents, but to look at them and think, okay, wait a minute. Do I really need to be like this? Do I need to, whatever the thing is, there's good things that your parents will give you, and then there's terrible things that your parents will give you. And you have to if you can take control of yourself enough, then you can push the shitty things away and just embrace the good stuff.
I just got distracted by the thought of like, if Obama was going to go on Arsenio Hall,
yeah,
he would like, because the saxophone's pretty cool. Doesn't he seem like someone who would play like the triangle? Or like, he's like such a nerd. Like he would play like the xylophone. Like it wouldn't be like a real instrument.
I think he would probably do a mouth harp.
That's too cool. That's too rockin'.
No, or he'd have one of those, what he'd do is he'd have one of those sticks on his leg. Have you ever seen those where there's a stick on the leg and a little man dances at the tip of the stick and you like twang it, twang, 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 twang.
That's too cool.
No, it isn't. That's never been cool.
He'd have like thumb cymbals.
Would just be weird. Like a very slow clinging of the thing.
Because he probably doesn't have rhythm.
No, that would just make me think everyone would just think, oh, he's definitely a Satanist. If he came out and just did thumb symbols, he'd seem like some occultist. What are you doing? And this weird, awkward sign. First of all, people would be like, holy shit, Arsenio Hall's back on? And then they'd be like, how did he get Obama? And why is Obama sitting on the new Arsenio Hall? That's the whole episode. It's just Arsenio looking at Obama and Obama dinging thumb symbols for the whole show. That would freak out the world. That'd start World War III. People would just start shooting missiles at our country if they saw that. Fuck, Obama's a weirdo. Poor guy. I feel sorry for him.
Why?
Because he's like, a millionaire. I don't know. You should.
When do people get health care?
What's that?
When does this help? What has he done?
Obama, there's a list. You can go to the, okay, here's one thing he did. He killed Osama bin Laden. He did. He was right there watching when they did it. SEAL Team 7 came in, and they killed Obama. And nobody could see the picture of his body or Osama. You couldn't see the picture of his body, and they dumped it off a boat. That's like the latest.
But they keep saying that there was no instruction to like do anything other than that.
That is the latest. When that happened, that's the one when the reptilians just were dying laughing. Because it's like they will fucking believe anything. At that point, whoever's running the show must have just been like, why are we waiting? Let's just take over the planet. Why are we waiting? Why are we going through these stupid steps?
So you think Osama bin Laden's going to show up at a Burger King somewhere?
No, I think Osama bin Laden died a long time ago, and they faked his death to try to create...
You have no proof of that.
They have no proof they killed bin Laden. I haven't seen one single picture. They dumped his body off. They didn't even try to put him on trial. They didn't try to interrogate. Why would you want to interrogate him? I'm sure he doesn't know anything about Al-Qaeda. Why would you want to get any kind of intelligence from him? Just kill it. You know what? Just shoot him in the face. No. We had no choice. He had to go. You're apparently the most trained military team on the planet. You don't have to. Your options aren't just to kill. There had to have been a way to capture him. Didn't they think like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We have to capture him. We've got to interrogate him. He's the head of Al-Qaeda. He's the one who destroyed those towers on that terrible day. We've got to get him, interrogate him. He's connected to this mysterious network of terrorists. Let's get the information. They would have planned it. Didn't they plan it when we come in there? Use webbing or netting or some kind of high-tech glue or wrap him up in a lasso. Why do you got to shoot him in the face 3 times? And if you were like, we got to kill him, you're going to be like, shoot him in the chest. I want people to see this monster that destroyed those buildings. I want the people deserve to see this dead villain. We deserve it. He caused so much problems for this country. They wouldn't just be like, just shoot him in the face and we'll throw him off a boat. That'll be it. I mean, it's just bullshit. Capture him, interrogate him. Capture him. Why? Why wouldn't you do that? Doesn't make sense. We had no choice. He had a weapon.
There might be a reason that you just don't know.
Well, they captured his wife that we haven't heard from. They captured his wife. There were many people who got arrested from that place. They captured many people in that compound. They just happened to kill the one guy who holds all the secrets to Al-Qaeda, that mysterious organization. Have you noticed that people talk about Al-Qaeda less now? It's kind of fading out. They're like kind of fading it down. They're like, all right, we've done that fairy tale for a while. Let's bring in something else. I think Iran's brewing up some nukes. That's kind of where it's like transitioning into, it feels like. I mean, look, I'm sorry, Natasha. I know you want to believe that bin Laden's dead. I know it was terrifying you every day that when he was alive. I know it was just
Honestly, you don't even want to know the truth.
I do.
I don't really understand what Al-Qaeda is.
Al-Qaeda is, let me tell you.
Like, what's the difference?
Ask me what the difference is between Al-Qaeda and the boogeyman. Nothing. It's the same thing. It's a boogeyman story that you tell a bunch of idiots in the fucking United States so everyone freaks out and doesn't question why their rights are getting taken away from them and why all this stupid money's going to the military-industrial complex to fight an endless war in Afghanistan that's now gone on.
So they're just saying that so they can take the money for the war.
Sure. It's the best story ever. Listen to this story. There's a terrorist organization. It's circling this globe. A network of loosely affiliated Islamic fundamentalist terrorists who desperately want to destroy the United States, and they were led by Osama bin Laden. And from his cave and his base in Pakistan, when he wasn't looking at his porn collection that we said they found, he was ordering attacks. That's the story.
So you're saying there always needs to be something because they're getting that rich off the military complex.
Yeah, before that it was the commies. The Red Scare. Remember, you couldn't work in Hollywood if they thought you were a communist? They had hearings with artists to try to interrogate you to find out if you were a
Thank
communist.
God those days are over.
God, we would be in the fucking lockup. I mean,
so basically when they were having those communist scares, which was not that long ago, it was in the 50s, 60s, like people like Aaliyah Kazan,
was
like
not long ago.
people were like their careers were getting ruined.
Yes.
This was like recently. It's like when Marlon Brando was alive.
America.
So they were saying what was the thing that they said? They just said that they agreed with communist sentiment.
Land of the free, home of the brave. Just don't be a communist.
Well, I guess we have freedom of speech now because you can say this, and still be able to work in Hollywood. You can still do commercial auditions and say this.
Well, time will tell. Time will certainly tell.
What if people like at our auditions, like I went to audition for like Kellogg's, they're like, I heard the Lavender Hour.
Get the fuck out of here.
And there'd be like handcuffs there.
Well, I mean, there are like cases where, I mean, there's still cases where artists will say some incendiary thing, and you know that, like, take for example, there was this woman who said some kind of nasty thing about Israel. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was some kind of like nasty thing. If you the current version of that is if you say some weird shit about Israel right now publicly, it can get you in trouble. You're not supposed to talk about you're not supposed to like point out the thing about how much money that we give to Israel every year. You're not supposed to point that out. Like,
do people point that out who are in the public?
Well, people kind of like, they're our friends. So the idea is these are our friends. Like, the United States relationship with Israel is a subject that is perplexing, and I don't understand enough to be anything more than offensive when I talk about it, so I won't until I'll try to read up on it and understand it a little bit more. But it's a polarizing subject, and some people really question why we are pouring so much money into a country like Israel, and also question the what's happening with the Palestinians there, because they seem to be really oppressed and trapped in some kind of shitty situation. And other people say, yeah, well, don't you want to have some kind of like westernized country in the middle of the world, which is what Israel is. It's the crossroads of the world.
I just still can't. Right? Can you think of an example of that happening? Like, did a celebrity come forward and say something?
No, she was a press reporter. She's this famous press reporter. I can't remember her name right now. I'll put it on Go Deeper. There's the videos there. She'd been at the White House. She was one of the White House press reporters who would like sit and ask the president questions. And she said some kind of thing that was considered anti-Semitic, and she got fired right away. But she's this little old lady who was like, just like said this thing, and it was really like intense, and everyone freaked out.
And by anti-Semitic, it was like anti-Israel.
Yes, I think so. I mean, it could have been. I don't remember the exact quote, but I do know that is that subject is one that we don't talk about that much outside of like just knowing that if there's a third world war, that's probably where it's going to start. It's probably going to start in Israel. I remember seeing a National Geographic documentary on Israel, and that's one of the things they said is this: if a world war is going to start, it's here, because we are locked to the death with Israel, and Israel is in a place where they're surrounded. Now that Egypt doesn't have Mubarak, because Mubarak was a supporter of Israel, and now
maybe you shouldn't keep talking about this if this is the only thing that gets people arrested.
This doesn't get people arrested, and I'm not saying. I know there's two points of view or many points of view, and I'm not expressing mine because I haven't I haven't evolved one yet. I don't know yet what the deal is. It's very strange to me, but a lot of here's why it's really weird. Why it's the Christian right loves Israel. Do you know why they love Israel?
No.
Because that's where Jesus is going to come back and reestablish the temple. It's true. They believe that. These motherfuckers believe that. They believe that there's metaphysical importance to that place, not just as a strategic location in the Middle East. There are people who truly believe, and by people, we're talking like Glenn Beck. There are people who truly believe that there is spiritual resonance there, and that is where Jesus is going to return in the second coming, and that is going to be Armageddon. And so they want to protect Israel at all costs. That's true. There are people go there every year to try to, like, you know, feel the places where Jesus walked, where their Savior walked. And that place is like, you know, George Bush was a born-again Christian. Apparently, he said he was. He's a fundamentalist. There's a whole group of these motherfuckers who, like, believe this crazy culty bullshit.
Remember when Lenny Bruce would say, like, fuck, and the police would come?
Arrest him!
And take him away in a paddy wagon.
Woo!
It's so hard to understand how that was edgy when you watch it now.
Now it's WikiLeaks. That guy Assange is like the new Lenny Bruce. Now it's like, because where it's like when you tell the truth and get arrested, then you have to dig for that now. To get arrested telling the truth is hard now, but you still can.
Yeah.
You can still get arrested for telling the truth, and what a fucking awesome way to go to jail. That's the coolest way to get arrested. That's the coolest way to get fucked with.
What's happening with Assange? I love that guy.
There's some kind of like real tumult happening with Assange and some other person who worked at WikiLeaks. He now has like an enemy relationship with this guy, and The Guardian apparently in one of their books printed a password to the entire encrypted WikiLeaks cables, because they've been kind of dispensing the WikiLeaks cables a little bit at a time, but somebody unlocked the entire gigantic storage of all these cables, so now they're releasing all of them. So that's the update on poor WikiLeaks.
So he's in a fight with someone who used to work for him.
Yes, he's in a fight. He's got an enemy. He's in a fight with a lot of different people, but one of his enemies is this guy who's
a former ally.
And
that
now
sucks.
They're enemies now.
I wonder why. I wonder what happened. That really sucks.
Assange is awesome, man. That's someone. If we ever had Julian Assange on the fucking Lavender Hour, then we've done it.
Let's get him.
That is so rude.
I was just seeing what time it was.
No, you aren't.
Yes, I was. I have someone coming over.
Who's coming over?
We're going to go on a walk.
Why can't you say Chelsea?
My friend Chelsea. We're going to go on a walk. It's 10:30.
Sorry, you guys. She's text all. You have ADD, though. And you know it.
So do you.
I don't. I know I don't. I'm focused like a laser on everything.
I want to look into this communist thing. That was so bizarre. It was almost like it was just a word.
The Red Scare. By the way, I do have ADD.
But anyone who is an artist would believe in communism.
Well, I mean, you don't want to necessarily believe in communism. Maybe.
I mean, they would believe in an idea of like not being greedy or.
Well, no, the idea is like everyone deserves like all people deserve the exact same thing.
Or all people deserve something. It's
That's
just a humanity. Right, but since communism maybe wasn't that evolved, I'm sure a lot of those people just believed in socialism. I mean, it was probably like the birth of the liberal.
Yeah, people know. You would say like, you know, it all comes down to this.
Are you saying everybody should have food?
What are you
You're
saying?
arrested.
Everyone should get health care? Wait a minute. Are you seriously sitting there saying to me that 2% of the people on the planet should not have all the wealth when people are starving? What the fuck's wrong? Get him in jail. Because the rich people run the armies. The rich people run the police. It's always been that way. The king has the guards to guard the treasure. If 2% of the people on the planet have all the money, something's wrong. That's wrong. Shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't be like that.
That's how it is now.
That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be like that. It's wrong. Always will be. It's not, I mean, like, you have to, but there's so many other problems. It's like, well, let's imagine you took the wealth and how do you distribute it? What mechanism do you use to distribute wealth to people all over the world? They can't even get aid to the people in Somalia who are starving right now because of some fucking weird Islamic organization won't let the aid come through. It's like what we've got here is a planet full of Michelle Bachmans, and some of them wear fucking burqas, and some of them wear turbans. Some of them dress like Jews. Some of them dress like
Some of them are women.
Some of them are women. It's just people believe in an imaginary thing. We got to stop that first. People all over this planet believe in some imaginary bullshit that's ancient and old and doesn't work anymore in the current state of our evolved consciousness. And those fucking people are the ones who are somehow have managed to squirm their way into positions of power. You should not be allowed.
Well, they have the most ambition.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Well, and also they know they can use their little fairy tale to fucking confuse idiots. It's such a powerful, stupid fairy tale. Good, the man's gonna come from the sky if you're not doing the right thing. It's like the bank robber. It's what all bank robbers do. You know, when a bank robber leaves, what does he say? He says, I'm gonna come back, and if anyone has moved an inch, I'm gonna blow their fucking heads off. That's the same trick that Jesus played, only it's been going on for thousands of years, and there's still fucking people. It'd be like somebody in a bank, the bank robber's leaving, and 6 days later, they're still there. Trust me, he's going to come back. I know he's going to come back. Don't move. We can't think up anything else. We just have to do this one thing. Just don't move because we're scared because if you do one thing. No, somebody was telling me that when the last apocalypse scare, they were about to masturbate, like right before the apocalypse. The last apocalypse scare was supposed to happen, and they stopped and waited till after. Just in case Jesus came back and saw you jerking off. Like Jesus would come back and immediately...
Who said that?
I can't remember. He's a funny person, though. It was like a comedian. But, so the point is, you got to first get rid of the imaginary bullshit in people's minds. Those Islamic fundamentalist freaks and the fucking hardcore Christians and all these people who believe this stupid shit. You got to get rid of that. Come up with a new thing. A religion relevant to our time. Not to the fucking desert dwellers. We don't need that anymore. It's not like that anymore. There's internet now. Jesus would have tweeted. Jesus would have used email. Jesus would have flown first class. Probably.
And Jesus would have wanted people to have fucking birth control.
Yeah. Totally. That would be one. He would always.
He'd probably like do Planned Parenthood commercials. He'd be like the voice of Planned Parenthood.
I don't think he'd be for abortion. But who the fuck knows? All I know is that
I do.
You think Jesus would be for abortion.
Yes.
Here's all you have to do. Just picture whenever you think Jesus is for.
He was cool. He was
First of
sensible.
all, it's an absurd thing to think anything that Jesus would be for, but it's fun. It's fun mental exercise. The next time you think Jesus would be for this, just imagine Jesus doing it. So if you think Jesus is for abortion, imagine him giving an abortion. Imagine Jesus Christ.
If someone raped me, Jesus would give me an abortion. I mean, I'd probably have a crush on Jesus. He's my type.
Of course you would. He's the Son of God. Of course he's your type. He's the manifestation of God, of love.
And he's a Pisces.
Everyone would have a crush on him. I mean,
I don't like the carpenter part.
He was a hippie. Pure hippie. Sandals, beard.
I gotta watch Jesus Christ Superstar.
God, that was great. I wanted to end it.
You know Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote the music for that?
Yeah, I did. Oh, God, that was
Is there a movie I can watch of that?
It's not that good. The soundtrack's the best. Didn't Jack Black do a whole redo of that thing?
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, God. Lavender Popes, Lavender Lads, and Lavender Lasses. Thank you so much for buying this bonus episode, and we love you. Do you have any shows coming up or anything you want to announce?
Well, I have a show tomorrow, but I don't think it'll get out by then.
No, it won't.
You can watch my TV show on NBC.
When is that coming out?
September 14th.
September 14th. Natasha's show, Free Agent, goes on the air. And I'm going to be in Seattle and I'm going to be in New Orleans this month. So look on my website, DougandTrussell.com, and come to those shows. And I will see you on Monday. That was funny what you said about if I got raped, Jesus would give me an abortion. That could be a country song. That's the one we're going to have to record that.